Thank you everyone for attending this webinar presented by Insightly and Xero. My name is Loretta Jones. I run marketing in Insightly, and I'll be taking you through today's program. And I also have Alicia Fleri here from Xero, and she will also discuss some of the benefits of Xero as well. So what I just wanted to give you is a little bit of an overview of our agenda. So as I mentioned, Alicia will give an overview of Xero. I will give a quick overview of Insightly, and then we'll go to the integration demo. And then you can also feel free to ask questions in the question panel. In the right-hand side, you'll see a little box there that says questions. Feel free to type in your questions there, and at the end, we will answer the questions. Also, I have added this presentation to the handout section. So again, if you look in your panel, you should see a handout there that says 1 of 5, and so you can download this presentation as well. So I just want to be clear that this is really a general overview of the Xero and Insightly integration. That's primarily what we're going to show today. It's not really meant to be an in-depth overview of individual products, either an in-depth overview of Xero or an in-depth overview of Insightly. Really what we're focusing on is the integration between the two products. If you would like to have in-depth overviews on both Insightly and Xero, feel free to email me, laura@insightly.com, and I can direct you as to where you can get more information. And we expect that this will probably be about 30 to 45 minutes, so it probably won't take a huge chunk of your day, but hopefully you'll find it interesting and valuable. So without further ado, let me welcome Alicia, and she's going to give you a quick overview of Xero.
Thanks, Loretta. Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia, and as Loretta mentioned, I am the U.S. Education Manager here at Xero. In my life before Xero, I spent about 10 years as an accounting platform consultant for an accounting firm in New York City and worked with upwards of 1,000 small businesses to design software solutions for their accounting and operational needs. In case you don't know much about Xero, or if you still are deciding about accounting software, which one's best for you, let me just take a few minutes here. So some fun facts about us, beyond our overuse of Nerf guns in the office and hotly debated costume competitions. We have an uptime percentage of about 99.99%. You're allowed to add an unlimited number of users with different roles to your Xero organization. So that means anyone from your accountant, bookkeeper, or trusted friend or advisor. And we work with over 5,000 banking institutions to provide auto bank feeds directly into Xero. So one thing that I believe truly makes Xero unique is that we don't sell features. We believe that your businesses make the world go round and that you are the heart of the global economy. Our mission is to keep businesses thriving through better tools, information, and connections. So we aren't selling features, but instead provide the tools to do great business, and that is why we feel that this new integration with Insightly is so significant. Accounting is a fundamental part of business success, but we understand that most people find it as a headache. So we work really hard to provide a low-touch, almost gamified experience. As I mentioned earlier, connecting to 5,000 plus financial institutions, including banks and credit card companies, virtually automates the money in, money out process. We also encourage businesses to work with Xero certified accountants and bookkeepers to help them get trained and set up properly from the start. And if your business wants a truly low to no touch approach to your accounting, we have a number of accounting partners that can help with day-to-day accounting tasks and who also know the ins and outs of Insightly. Xero also has an open API that allows applications like Insightly to connect seamlessly to Xero. This is great because, as you know, often you need more than just 1 or 2 resources to effectively run your business. Both Insightly's integration partners and ours, we pretty much ensure that whatever your business needs are, you can find applications that speak to one another and freely exchange information and important data. So why does this matter? As we continue to automate processes and take away the headache of double entry, we are effectively giving you back hours each week, days every year to focus on your business and your customers. You already work with Insightly, so you understand the importance of keeping in contact with your customers, but with this new integration, we're giving you the power of not only time, but information. As you'll see, and we're not going to steal anything from Loretta's thunder, but having access to more customer details as well as the ability to enter information once and view it in 2 places in real time is amazing. Additionally, what this integration does is allow you to feel comfortable that you're only sharing the information that your sales and project people need without giving them access to the other accounting bits that they don't. So what's key here is that you ensure that you have the right tools for your business. So with that, I'm all done, and I'm going to let Loretta take it back.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alicia. So what I'm going to do is just give you a quick overview of Insightly before we get into the demo. So some of you on the call may already be using Insightly. Some of you might just be here because you're interested to kind of see how this might help your business. So this is, as I mentioned, is just a quick overview. If you'd like to get a more in-depth overview, send me an email, and I'm happy to tell you how to do that. So Insightly is a CRM for small businesses. We define small businesses as 1 to 200 employees. We really are kind of the hub of your communication, your sales, and your collaboration. We are a general all-purpose customer tracking CRM, and the reason why I say we're kind of general all-purpose is because we work across many different verticals. We didn't build Insightly to only work with one vertical. So if you go to our website, you'll see that we have customers in education and financial services and healthcare, in catering, all across, kind of really all across a variety of different verticals. And so I think that speaks very well to the product to be able to be used in a variety of different use cases. We do have integrated CRM and project management, and that is one of the things that kind of makes us stand out in the marketplace. So we're very popular with service organizations. So for example, after you close a deal, when you're a service organization, then obviously you have to kind of deliver the services. And so project management with milestones helps with that as well. So we have lead management in terms of some of the features. We have mass email and email templates so that your salespeople can send out communication. We have a mobile app, a native mobile app for iOS as well as Android, which includes one of our new features of business card scanning. So when you're on the road, if you're at a trade show, you can scan your business cards in. They will automatically become a contact in Insightly. And we also have customized reporting. This is actually something that we most recently launched, so you can kind of slice and dice your data any way you want to kind of see how well your business is doing, how well your salespeople are doing. You can look at sales activities, you can look at your opportunity pipeline, etc. And we do have key integrations. That is also one of the things that we kind of work on, because what we realize is that, you know, Insightly has a special core of talent and a special uniqueness to it, but obviously we can't build all of the features that all of the applications out there have and all of the applications that you're using. So instead what we do is we focus on integration. Obviously this one of these key ones is an integration that we have with Xero. But we have integrations with Google Apps, Dropbox, Outlook 2013, Office 365, MailChimp, Xero, Google Hangout, Zapier, etc. So that's just a quick overview of Insightly. And this is a screenshot of the Insightly Xero integration, which is what I'm going to show you in the demo. But really, at the end of the day, what we help you do is get a complete picture of your business. So you get specific information about your customer from Insightly, like maybe how many times you've sent that email, maybe how many times the last time they called in for service. And then you also get financial information all in one place. So with that, let's get into the demo. And what I'm going to do now is I am in Insightly. I've already logged into Insightly. So to show you how easy it is to integrate Insightly and Xero, this is the system settings menu up here, and I've clicked on it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to integration. And you'll see right here, here is Xero, and I'm going to click install. And I'm going to say connect to Xero. I can also give integration permission. So you might not want everyone in your company who's using Insightly maybe to see financial information. So you have permissions. You can make this Xero integration available in terms of the data to everyone. You can select a team or you can select individual people. In this case, for this demo, I'm just going to say everyone. I'm going to say connect to Xero. And then it's going to authorize my instance. So I authorize it. And then you're pretty much done. You can see here the integration is successfully installed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it actually looks like once you are in Insightly in terms of the data that you can see when you come in. So I'm going to search for this contact that I know has some Xero data. There we go. So this is the contact record in Insightly. It was one of my specific customers. And you can see right here, this is, you can see information about this contact from Insightly. You can see the email, the main information. You can even see some custom contact fields that we might have created. You can see any emails that I've sent to this person, any notes that have been created. We've also attached some files to this person's record, any tasks. So you can see all of this information at a glance right there. And then what I can do is I can click Xero here, and what we'll do is we will see the Xero information also associated with this customer. So right here you see all of your overdue invoices, outstanding invoices, etc., right in Insightly. And then down here you can see more individualized information. So one thing up here, when you see this data up here, this will always be in US dollars, but you can see the individual invoices down here in different currencies, whatever currencies you are using. So that's one of the nice things that you can do with the integration. The other thing I'll show you is that I can actually create a draft invoice directly from Insightly, and it's just a draft because it has to be approved in Xero. So what I'll do here is I'll create invoice and draft, and I'll say what is the item, and in this case we'll just say, let's say we want to get some white golf balls, so we'll say we need to renew our customer gift. And in this case, I'll say it's about $1,000. And you can see here, this is where the currencies are. So just for demo purposes, we have a few currencies listed. I'm just going to say, okay, these are in Euro, because maybe the vendor is in Europe. And I'll create the invoice draft. And you can see right here where it says invoice 0098 has been successfully created. And it's also created down here. And so when I click View, what it's going to do is it's going to take me directly to that invoice in Xero. It's going to show me information on that invoice. And now what I can do is I can actually approve it. Here it is right here. I can actually approve it in Xero. So we'll click Approve. So the item was approved. And then when I go back here into Insightly and I refresh, you'll see that it's been authorized as opposed to draft. So there it is, authorized right there. So essentially it's very simple to connect. We wanted to make it as easy as possible. As long as you have a Xero account and an Insightly account, you can do that. You can connect the two, and you can essentially map companies and map accounts in Insightly to instances in Xero. And then once you've done that, then you have all the information that you need right in Insightly. So that's just about the kind of the overview of the integration. Let me go back to the PowerPoint really quickly, because one of the things that I do want to show you is that we are actually offering a special. So if there are folks on the call that are not Xero customers or that are not Insightly customers, there are some specials here that you can take advantage of just for attending this webinar. So if you're interested in trying Xero, you can receive a 30% discount up to 6 months. So you go to xero.com/Insightly. And if you are interested in trying Insightly, there are a couple of ways you can go. So Insightly has a free account. We also have a free 14-day trial of our premium plans, and you can sign up for either of those at Insightly.com. If you sign up for a free account or a free 14-day trial, when you decide to upgrade to a paid plan, if you use the coupon Insightly020, you'll receive a 20% discount for 3 months, and our coupon expires at the end of this month. So those are two offers that if you are interested, I think they're pretty good. I would recommend that you try them and play with both products and see if they work for you. So at this point, let's see if we have any questions. So this is a question from Devin. I have a workflow schematic with solutions that I am looking for. Can I send this to you guys and have you review it and tell me if it's a fit? Sure, Devin, feel free to send that to me. You can send that to me, Loretta at Insightly.com, and I'm happy to take a look at it and then just direct you to the right place to kind of get your questions answered. Here's a question from Peter. What are the available fields in Insightly available in the API to push to applications, for example, using Zapier? So Peter, again, feel free to email me, Loretta at Insightly.com, since that question is a little bit off topic here, since we're specifically talking about Xero and Insightly, but I'm happy to give you more information on Zapier and our API as well. Here is another question from Peter, and maybe Alicia, maybe you can answer this question because I think it's targeted towards Xero. But the question is, if I also use Harvest, how would you coordinate it to push contact and organization information to Xero and Harvest?
You know, I honestly not sure about how that would specifically work, but just as you said, be happy to take that question offline and get some answers for you.
Okay. Here's another question from Peter. Again, Alicia, for you. Does Xero have time cards and project cost tracking like Harvest?
So we do have timesheets right now, but we do not have job costing. It's actually our #1 priority, and we have just built out and released billable expenses, but the true project tracking has not been completed, but that's definitely #1 on our list.
Okay, great. Here's a question from Jake. Can you sync all contacts between Insightly and Xero? And I guess I'm not 100% sure I understand the question, but I'll answer it. And again, feel free to follow up with me. Because the integration between Insightly and Xero, first what you want to do is you want to map it, so that you want to map the contacts and the organization so that both applications know which data to pass back and forth. And then from there, you will be able to see common invoices between the two applications. So hopefully that answers your question, but if not, again, feel free to email me and I'm happy to pass on more information. Here's a question from Carolyn. We currently use this integration and found that connecting customers to Xero from Insightly does not sync information from Xero to Insightly. Is this possible? So our integration from Xero is basically pulling the information in from Xero into Insightly so that you can kind of see all the information in one place. As I did demonstrate, you can create a draft invoice in Insightly and have it authorized in Xero, but really the focus is to bring the information from Xero into Insightly. Here's a question from Corinne. Since this is a little bit more in-depth, I probably would ask you to send an email to me and I can answer this question for you. But the question is, if I have one account in Insightly who's a surveyor who manages a number of properties with different invoice details in Xero, how would this best be set up? So this is definitely kind of an in-depth question, so definitely feel free to send me an email and I'm happy to get the answer to you. And here's a question from Rick. Salesforce offers apps that I could build and then sell. Is that an Insightly option? And as I interpret the question, Rick, and I might be interpreting it incorrectly, what you're asking for is, can you create add-on applications to Insightly and then sell them, I believe. And you're definitely able to do that. We have an open API. In fact, we used our own API to do this integration. So if we have a number of customers that integrate Insightly with their applications and then sell those. So if that's what you're looking for, then yes, you can definitely do that. Here's a question from Ashley. In this demo, the client had invoices in multiple currencies. If all of your invoices are in the same non-U.S. currency, will the U.S. currency still be the default display at the top of the client info? So yes, let me just go back really quick here. This information here in Insightly will always be at the top, will always be in U.S. dollars, and then the individual invoices down here can be in multiple currencies. So I believe that answers your question. But yes, this information up here at the top will always be in U.S. dollars, at least in this current V1 integration that we've done. We might change that in the future, but currently that's how we've implemented it. Here's a question from MJ. What does Insightly cost if you already have a Xero account? So as I mentioned, Insightly has a freemium business model, so we have a free account, and with the Insightly free account, you can integrate with Xero. If you would like to choose an Insightly paid account, you can see the pricing on our website, and our paid plans begin at $12 per user per month. But again, if you sign up for our free plan, you can integrate Xero with the Insightly free plan. Here's a question from Jerry. Does the integration go the other way, i.e. take a customer from Xero and update Insightly emails, sent quotes, etc.? No, as I mentioned, with this integration, we are bringing information from Xero into Insightly. The integration doesn't bring Insightly information into Xero. When I integrate, here's a question from Ted. When I integrate, how does Insightly match its contacts organizations to the ones from Xero? What you would need to do is you would need to actually map those. So once you've connected, as I showed you in the system settings, then what happens is Insightly, you can type in a person's name or a person's contact information, and then if that person is also in Xero, then that's how you can match them up. So in the beginning, you'll need to map your contacts or your accounts from Xero to Insightly. Here's a question from Brian. I'm already using Insightly in Xero. I attempted to enter a draft invoice but did not see a place for quantity. Did I miss that? Hold on one second. Let me actually just go here and create a draft invoice and see if I can see what you are saying. It doesn't look like we have something for quantity in this draft invoice. What I don't know is since this is actually pulling fields from Xero, I don't know if it's just specifically because it's not in here or if it's not in the integration. So feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to check with our engineers and answer that question for you. This is Alicia, you might be able to answer this question. This is a question from Matt, and he indicates, we use Deer systems for inventory, which is already integrated with Xero. So when a sales rep creates a draft invoice in Insightly and pushes over to Xero as you demoed, how does it then move over to Deer without causing conflicts? And I think that's really about an integration with Xero and Deer, but maybe you have more information on that.
You know, unfortunately, I am not up on exactly how each of these integrations work. I truly apologize. I'd be, again, happy to take it offline and ask one of our developers that can give us more information. But again, you know, just as you've been pointing out with the open APIs, the systems, depending on the way that those are synced and the settings that you have set up, that will dictate how the information moves from one application to another, because these APIs are designed for multiple applications to be working together. But I don't know the specifics on these three.
Okay, great. A question from Lisa: what is the minimum subscription plan for Insightly to take advantage of the integration? And as I mentioned, you can take advantage of the integration on an Insightly free plan as well as on any of the Insightly paid plans as well. A question from Kevin: I just missed the demo. When do you repeat this? And actually, at this time we don't have plans to repeat this, but we are recording this. So Kevin, feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to send you a recording of this that we're recording right now, and you can look at the demo as well as hear the answers to the question. Here's a question from Brian, and this is really a question about Insightly, which is, can you show a report from Insightly looking at given users for sales for day, week, a month? And actually, I'm happy to do that, but this is probably not the forum for it since this is an integration with Xero. So feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction to kind of show you how to create that type of report in Insightly. And let's see what else we have. This is a question from Steen, and I'm not sure if this is a question for Insightly or Xero, so I'll answer it, and then Alicia can also answer it as well. And the question is, can you accept a CSV spreadsheet input regarding invoice entries? So Alicia and Xero, can folks basically import their invoice entries?
Absolutely, they can. You can pretty much import just about anything from a CSV. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And with Insightly, you can import data as well. I probably wouldn't recommend importing invoice entries into Insightly, because if you did that, then you wouldn't have kind of the live connection between Insightly and Xero. But yes, as Alicia indicated, you definitely can import those into Xero. Here's a question from MJ. How does Insightly integrate with email? Do you end up having to receive email directly in Insightly? And again, Insightly we actually have some email capabilities in Insightly, and we also integrate with email applications, as I mentioned, like Gmail, Outlook 2013, etc. So send me an email, and I'm happy to send you more about our email capabilities. Again, this is the focus on the Xero and Insightly integration. I probably won't go into that detail of Insightly at this point in time. A question from Wael. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If I'm not, I apologize, W-A-E-L. But can Insightly track leads and conversations with potential clients? For example, when was the last client last contacted? What was the method of contact? What was the client's response? And again, yes, we can track that, and you can create a report on that. But again, I probably won't go into that because that is really out of the scope of the webinar. But feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Let's see what other questions we have here. A lot of these questions I'm looking at are actually specifically questions for Insightly, so that's why I'm actually not going to read them online, just because, again, the focus of the webinar is the integration with Xero. But again, I'm happy to have you email me, and I'm happy to answer your questions offline. A question from Walter. I missed this part, but can the integration happen with the free app, or does Insightly have to be upgraded? No, you can integrate Xero with a free version of Insightly or a paid version of Insightly. Either of those versions of Insightly, free or paid, you can use to integrate with Xero. Here's a question from Devin. I think this is for you, Alicia. When clients order samples, I want reps to call and follow up. I would like Xero to trigger a task to be scheduled to have this in Insightly and to have the reps do this. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, I didn't see the Insightly part. I thought he was just asking if Xero could trigger a task. And at this point in time, this first version of the integration does not have any automation in terms of triggering tasks, specifically in the integration. You might be able, let me think about how you might be able to do this in Insightly. I'm not sure off the top of my head. There might be a workaround. So again, send me an email and I'll talk to our support team or our dev team to see if there's a way to have a task triggered based on some information coming in from Xero. Here's a question from Devin. Alicia, this is for you. Can Xero do payroll?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually are currently in about 20 states. To get more information, it's xero.com/payroll. But it is a full-service payroll, do the tax filings and everything for you. But just as I mentioned, we're only in 20 states right now.
Great, thanks.
Sure.
Let's see what else. A couple more. I'll take a couple more. I'm actually looking at the time. It's about 11:33, so I want to be cognizant of people's time. So I'll take a couple more questions, and then, as I mentioned, feel free to email me with if your question did not get answered, or if we weren't sure of the answer, feel free to email me. One of the last questions from Brad, you mentioned Office 365. What about Office version 16 now used in Office 365? At this point in time, I'm not 100% sure that we support Office version 16 just because it is so new, but let me check with my developers and kind of get back to you. And then here's the last question from Laura. Moving forward, if we have questions about the integration between Insightly and Xero, would it be better to contact you or Alicia? Probably feel free to contact me, and the reason why I say that is because Insightly actually built the integration, so if there are specific questions on any specific, the way it's done or any specific details on it, I would be able to talk to our developers or talk to our support team and get that answer for you. So it's probably best to just email it to me, and if it's something that I can't answer, I'm happy to forward it on to Alicia, and then she can, talk to the appropriate people at Xero. So I think that about wraps it up. Thank you very much for attending. We appreciate your time. And Alicia, do you have any last minute words, or you're all good? Or
nope, I think you did a great job, and I just appreciate being here.
All right. Well, thanks again, Alicia. Thank you for your time, and all of you on the line, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, you learned something today, and have a good day. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.